Yeah, welcome to Austrian Stocks in English, presented by Palfinger, the new and weekly English-spoken summary for the Austrian stock market, positioned every Sunday in the mostly German-languaged podcast Christian Drastil, Wiener Börse, Sport, Musik und mehr. My name is Christian and I will be later on joined by the absolutely smart Alison. Like last week's, week 35 brought also a downside for the ATX total return, which lost 1.98% to 6,101.35 points. In this week we dived first time since mid of July under 6,000 points. News came from Pira Mobility, Contron, SIMO, Valneva, POR, Warenbex, Semperit, Wienerberger, Strabag, Agrana, AT&S, Andritz and Fabersoft. Spoken now by the absolutely smart Alison.
Thank you, Christian, for calling me absolutely smart. And these were the news of week 35, Monday. Pira Mobility, with brands like KTM, Husqvarna, Gas, etc. is increasing the revenue forecast for the 2022 to a growth of 10 to 15% compared to the previous year. Previously forecasted revenue growth for the 2022 financial year, 6 to 10%. Based on the good performance in the first half of the year, the management board expects the strong business development to continue in the second half of 2022. This expectation is supported, among other things, by a slight easing of the supply chain situation in the second half of 2022. The forecasts for the EBIT margin of 8 to 10% and an EBITDA margin between 15 and 17% are confirmed. Pira Mobility, weekly performance, minus 0.84%. Contron, IT company Contron through Contron Transportation GmbH, Austria, has entered into an agreement with CAPS Trafficom to acquire the public transport business in Spain, which is bundled in the CAPS Trafficom group company Arce Mobility Solutions, SA. The transaction is subject to regulatory approvals. Public transport is not part of CAPS Trafficom's strategic core business. Relevant advantages are expected with the acquisition of the company. The technology group expands its own product portfolio and increases internal engineering capacities. In the last fiscal year 2021/22, Arce Mobility Solutions, SA generated revenues of Euro 11.2 million and employs more than 115 people. Contron, weekly performance, minus 2.01%. SMO, in the first half of the year, total revenues of real estate company SMMO increased year-on-year from Euro 91.1 million to Euro 119.6 million. This improvement is due to acquisitions of rented properties, a good like-for-like performance and a significant increase in revenues from hotel operations, which amounted to Euro 23.7 million, high 2021, Euro 10.2 million. While rental income rose from 63.9 million euros to 73.0 million euros, gross profit from hotel operations increased from Euro 2.2 million in the first half of 2021 to 5.2 million euros, despite a substantial rise in property management expenses to Euro 38.5 million, high 2021, Euro 31.9 million, due to acquisitions and higher energy costs. Gross profit advanced by more than 19% to Euro 63.4 million, high 2021, Euro 53.2 million. Despite a significant decline, the result from property valuation was still positive at Euro 20.8 million, high 2021, Euro 131.5 million. Due to lower property values, however, EBIT decreased from Euro 166.3 million to Euro 64.8 million despite the positive operating performance. Due to the stagnating prices on the German residential property market, the company is currently considering divestment options, which would allow for reinvestments in properties in C with solid returns. SMO, weekly performance, minus 0.44%. Valneva, a specialty vaccine company, today reported further positive Phase 3 results for its inactivated, adjuvanted COVID-19 vaccine VLA 2001. Additional readouts from the company's pivotal VLA 2001-301 COV-COMPARE trial showed persistent immunogenicity in first positive heterologous booster results following primary vaccination with ChAdOx1S, AstraZeneca. Valneva, weekly performance, minus 10.03%. Tuesday, Power. Construction Group Power put in a successful performance in the volatile first half of 2022, rising by 2.6% to more than €8 billion. The order book achieved an all-time high. This has solidified the stable basis for economic activity in the coming years. The most important projects include the interior works of the VO Plaza and the Podhagskigas residential complex, both in Vienna, as well as the revitalization of Barrandov Bridge in Prague. Other key new orders include the Drammen by Brua City Bridge in Norway and the thermal waste-to-energy treatment plant in Rzeszów, Poland. We are currently pursuing a strategy of selective order acquisition. This has proven its value particularly in the first half of the year, explained Strauss. Power generated EBT of Euro 22.1 million. Power, weekly performance, minus 6.28%. Wearimpex, real estate developer Wearimpex Group reported positive operating performance for its office properties and hotels in the first half of 2022. Revenues from office property rental and from hotel operations improved in annual comparison. 2 transactions were also successfully closed in June, one being the sale of the B52 office building in Budapest with over 5,200 square meters of net floor space under a share deal. The other was Wearimpex's purchase of Red Tower in lots with over 12,400 square meters of lettable space. Plans are in place to renovate the office tower and to expand it with a co-working zone and conference rooms. Around 40% of the space at the building is occupied at the moment. Total revenues improved from Euro 12.8 million to Euro 20.1 million. Profit in the first half of 2022 reached 13.4 million, compared with Euro 1.7 million in the previous year. Wearimpex, weekly performance, 9.47%. Semperit, Helmut Sorger, most recently CFO of the North America division of the publicly listed company Wienerberger AG, on October 1, 2022, will be taking over as the Chief Financial Officer CFO of the Semperit Group, an internationally oriented group that develops and produces highly specialized polymer products for the industrial and medical sectors. He will be succeeding Petra Preening, 49, who is resigning from her position prematurely as she moves on to a new professional challenge. The supervisory board of Semperit AG Holding has acknowledged her decision with great regret and has approved the mutually agreed termination of her contract with effect from September 30, 2022. Looking ahead, the supervisory board is excited about the prospect of working with Helmut Sorger. Semperit, weekly performance, minus 3.30%. Wienerberger currently considers the supply of natural gas to be secured in all its markets. Nevertheless, the company used the opportunity to invest in the security of gas supply, securing a total gas capacity of 25 gigawatt-hours, GWH, at the Haydach storage facility for the company, based on the consumption of 390 GWH of gas per year at all production sites. 25 GWH would be sufficient to keep Wienerberger's roof tile and clay block plants of strategic importance for the Austrian economy in operation for a longer period of time in the event of a substantial cut in gas supply. Wienerberger, weekly performance, 1.67%. Peer Mobility, in the first half of 2022, the Peer Mobility Group increased group revenue by 7.1% to Euro 1,154.1 million. Previous year, Euro 1,078.0 million. The EBIT of Euro 92.8 million in the reporting period was below the figure for the previous year of Euro 102.6 million. Against the backdrop of difficulties in the supply chain affecting both segments and the associated supply bottlenecks, the motorcycle division of the company sold a total of 163,334 KTM, Husqvarna and Gazgas motorcycles in the first 6 months of the financial year. Previous year, 176,045, including the models sold by our partner Bajaj. Unit sales in the first half of 2022 are therefore just 7.2% below the previous year. In the bicycle division, a total of 51,417 units were sold, minus 3.7%. Of these, 34,829 were e-bicycles. Previous year, 39,601, and 16,588 were conventional bicycles. Previous year, 13,777, of the Husqvarna, Gazgas, Felt and Raymond brands. Peer Mobility, weekly performance, minus 0.84%. Wednesday, Strabag, Austrian construction group Strabag generated a 9% higher output volume of Euro 7,587.72 MN in the first half of 2022. Besides the car markets of Germany, Austria and the Czech Republic, the increased output volume in the United Kingdom also is of particular note. The order backlog reached a new record level of Euro 23,969.66 MN as at June 30, 2022, an increase of 14% over June 30, 2021. This figure grew by around Euro 2 billion in Germany alone, with significant increases also recorded in Austria and Poland. Earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation and amortization amounted to Euro 324.67 MN, compared to Euro 406.29 MN in the first half of 2021. The Management Board remains committed to the targeted construction output of Euro 16.6 billion for 2022, a figure that is well supported by the order backlog. The forecasts may be fraught with uncertainty at the moment, but our half-year figures show that we are meeting our guidance. The output has increased as expected, and the order backlog is also showing an upward trend, despite its already high level. As predicted, we were not able to repeat the previous year's exceptional earnings result. In a long-term comparison, however, we can speak of the second-best figure for a first half year, says Thomas Bertel, CEO of Strabag. Strabag, weekly performance, -0.13%. Thursday, Agrana. The processing campaigns have started at Agrana's 3 starch factories in Austria. The Agrana plant in Gmund, Lower Austria, began receiving shipments of starch potatoes on August 29. The quantity of potatoes delivered will be lower than in the prior year due to lower contracted volumes and below average forecast harvests as a result of the dry period. Wet corn processing also started at the beginning of this week at both Agrana's sites in Austria, namely at Aschach and Pischelsdorf. The wet corn campaigns are expected to last until mid-December. This will be followed by a switch back to the use of dry corn. The immediate processing of the freshly harvested corn protects the environment since energy-intensive drying is not necessary. Agrana, weekly performance, 1.55%. Andritz, International Technology Group. Andritz has received an order from Canadian Jastex Fibers to supply a crosslapper to its site of Point Claire. The line will be dedicated to the production of polyester blends for a wide range of applications, including home furnishing, filtration, blankets, architectural, fire retardant, transportation. Startup is planned for the second quarter of 2023. Andritz, weekly performance, -2.83%. ATX, the supervisory board of ATX, a manufacturers of high-end printed circuit boards and IC substrategies, appointed Petra Preening to the ATX Management Board as CFO for a period of 5 years with effect from October 1, 2022. She will be responsible for finance, controlling, procurement, investor relations, legal, internal audit, compliance as well as risk and continuity management. A graduate in business administration, Petra Preening most recently served as CFO of Semperit AG Holding. Further, Peter Griesnig, 57, has been appointed to the Management Board of ATX for 5 years and will serve as CTO with effect from April 1, 2023. He will be responsible for research and development, innovation management, advanced interconnect solution services, ACE, quality, ESG and industrial planning. ATX, weekly performance, -3.13%. Friday, Fabasoft. Fabasoft signed a purchase and participation agreement for the acquisition of a majority stake in 4 Teamwork AG, based in Bern. After full implementation of the contract, Fabasoft AG will hold 70% of the shares in the new Fabasoft 4 Teamwork AG. The previous CEO of 4 Teamwork AG, Dr. Pascal Habiger, will retain a 30% stake in Fabasoft 4 Teamwork AG and will promote further expansion in his existing role. The participation will take place in several steps. First, the indirect acquisition of existing shares of 21.7% from the previous majority shareholder is planned. At the closing, a capital increase is to take place, which will increase Fabasoft AG's share in 4 Teamwork AG to approximately 58.5%. This is to be followed by a merger with Fabasoft Schweiz AG, which in turn will result in Fabasoft AG holding a 70% stake in the new Fabasoft 4 Teamwork AG. Fabasoft, weekly performance, 7.25%. Andritz, Reciproco SL and L Alcadia, Spain. has successfully started up a complete airlay line delivered, installed and commissioned by international technology group Andritz. The airlay line is designed for recycling of post-industrial and post-consumer foam and was developed specifically for the bedding and furniture industry, with material heights reaching 20 centimeters and densities of up to 120 kgm3. Experimental tests carried out together with experts from Andritz La Roche led to the conclusion that the mechanical method for recycling polyurethane is the most versatile and reliable. With a capacity of 1.2 th, this airlay line enables Recipar to supply new mattresses made of industrial and post-consumer foam waste from old mattresses. This well-proven process allows to reduce the environmental impact, increased self-sufficiency and eventually reduce the use of polyurethane. Andritz, weekly performance, minus 2.83%. And now bye-bye from Alison.
And Christian, we wish you a great week. Hear you next Sunday.